my 7-year-old self. It was a windy autumn day, and I was raking leaves in the garden. And I heard my father say again and again and again, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. Down to the very last leaf. And only then would I get my pocket money. That made me a perfectionist. That has served me well academically. It has served me well professionally too. But boy, has my professional life been exhausting. And as a single mum, even more so. So if I look back, I ask myself, did life actually need to be so hard? But I'm not here to talk about imposter syndrome if you don't deliver 150%. And I'm actually not here either to talk about the fact that women are still largely promoted based on outperformance, whereas men largely based on potential. I want to talk about something that is very, very often overlooked, and that is the money messages that girls grow up with. When I think about what money meant to me over the course of my lifetime, earning goes hand in hand with outperformance. Never once when I was getting my pocket money as a child was there ever a discussion about how much that outperformance was worth. There was not a discussion about how I should manage my pocket money. There was not a discussion on saving, on compounding, on investing. Entrepreneurship, didn't even know what that word meant till I was well into my 30s. And that's not a joke. Now, the paradox is I have 3 half-brothers that are all older than me and who all grew up to be successful entrepreneurs, as my dad was. So I asked myself, why was my path so different? Not that I'm complaining about my path, but it was very different. And it was different, in my view, for 2 reasons. It was different because 45 years ago, it was not considered necessary to talk to a girl about managing money. Or making money, for that matter, and we still struggle with that today. And the other aspect was that I grew up with my mum after my parents divorced when I was 10 years old. Now, my mum was a war child who grew up in a period where a married woman couldn't even have her own bank account without her husband's signature. She was not the most financially literate herself. And when she passed away a couple of years ago at the beginning of COVID, it was with horror that I realized she sat on cash her entire life. Now, 20 years or more in the financial industry, and I've met so many women who felt like my mom. Finance is unapproachable. It's not a space where we feel welcome. Fortunately, the financial industry has made a lot of progress. We have understood that it's not about pink marketing. We definitely don't need pink products. What women need is a dialogue about finance that is on eye level and that takes into account their personal circumstances. And the industry is shifting. And it is not just a front office effort, it is across the value chain that we need to understand that we need to be more inclusive. But one thing is completely overlooked, and that is the root cause of the lack of female financial participation. Because our adult money habits are largely shaped by age 7. And those money messages you grow up with in your childhood are very hard to unwire in adult life. So what can we do about it? Essentially, we need 3 things. We need heightened awareness that financial literacy needs to start much earlier than we think. The second is girls need female money role models. And that means that empowering every woman and every mother to take control of her financial future has a generational impact. And thirdly, we need to talk about money. We need to make it an engaging conversation where every young girl feels welcome. That sounds easy, but it's not. For that to happen, we need to overcome the discomfort, the fear, the guilt, the shame that we carry around with us when it comes to talking about money. Now, to open up those conversations with children is certainly even easier, supposedly. But statistics prove us wrong. By the age of 10, girls experience pocket money pay gaps. Yes, there is such a thing. It's actually tragic. The gaps are between 10 and 50%. Now, do we need to really ask ourselves whether a child that faces a pocket money pay gap is going to enter the workforce on equal terms? And the money they leave on the table at that first job compounds over a lifetime. It's a missed opportunity we can't afford. And the micro-biases in money messages are pervasive. If you start paying attention to it, you'll realize it is like the pink toys for the girls and the blue toys for the boys. Because we do talk about money to boys, we talk about making money. We do talk about money to girls, we talk about spending money. If you pay attention to it, you'll realize that that is so pervasive that it is pervasive in society, in the media, and it is in our homes, whether we want it or not. So my appeal to all of you is the following. To any parent, grandparent, godparent, foster parent, auntie, uncle, relative, or friend who has ever gifted money to a child on a special occasion. Why just gift money when you can gift money skills? Have a conversation with a child, and especially if it's a girl, sit her down and ask her, where does money come from? Because if the answer is from mummy's purse or daddy's wallet or the ATM or the phone or the watch, that's not the right answer. Sit her down and have a conversation about, do you know where your money goes when you spend it? Because shouldn't every child know what the impact of their daily money decisions is? And if we're talking about pocket money and chores, no, it's not about making family life transactional. It's about giving an earning, learning opportunity. But don't just expect your daughter to do a job well done to be paid. Ask her, how much do you think that job well done is worth? And let her negotiate as she grows. To any of you who might be policymakers, my plea is to put financial literacy at the very top of the education agenda at every age, starting in primary school. We can't afford for our children to grow up without the money skills they need for life. And I ask myself, if we as citizens of one of the leading financial marketplaces on the planet cannot put financial literacy into our DNA and into our schools and our curricula, who can? To all the investors out there, big or small, take a girl by the hand, talk to her about how you invest, why you invest, who taught you to invest, where did you start? Every girl needs to hear that story. And last but not least, to any philanthropists among you, if your focus is on education, I beg you to look beyond numeracy, literacy, and digital skills. We need to put financial literacy at the core of education. And I believe that together we can, because it's little steps, it's daily conversations, it's conscious conversations about money that change a girl's financial future. And I believe that together, if we change our girls' financial future, we can pave the way to advancing economic gender equality. And to my 7-year-old self, what would I say? I would tell her the wise words of Einstein. Compound interest is indeed the eighth world wonder. Those who understand it earn it, and those who do not pay it. Thank you.